Randy Cross, and this is Unsafe Spaces, Season 4, Episode 7. I want to thank you for joining us. We're going to have a little bit of the usual. Got an interview in this one. It's going to be with Charles Arbuckle, a fellow UCLA Bruin, played for the Indianapolis Colts, and is currently working as the tight end coach for the Arizona Hotshots in the Alliance of American Football. And also, Charles and I, this offseason in May, are part of a charity event. It's going to happen in Italy, and it's a great deal. And we'll promote this one in a little while. But this is something to get on your calendars. And if you want to support a couple of unbelievable causes and have a lot of fun and have some golf and some fine Italian food at the same time, check it out. All right, now for our a few words of commentary to start things off. First of all, I'm a guy, I was born in New York. I grew up in L.A. My dad was an actor, so he was a member of SAG and AFTRA, the unions out there, forever. He was, later in his life, he was a insurance executive. But for most of my early life, he was an actor. And, hey, the Academy Awards were a big deal. Anytime they had awards in general were a big deal. Now the awards are a big deal for a lot of different reasons and some very different reasons. How they show up, what they wear, what they say, what they do. I grew up in that bubble. I've been a member of SAG and AFTRA since 1980. And in all honesty, it wasn't for that union health insurance, our family of 7 kids and my mom and dad probably wouldn't have survived, much less been able to live in LA and do everything we got a chance to do. So I am eternally grateful. All right. I grew up in that bubble, but it wasn't until I moved to the Bay Area that I started to sort of figure out, you know, the world wasn't really like that. You got out of LA, things were pretty different. For first of all, everybody in that business kind of figures they're better than everybody. And I don't mean kind of everybody. I mean everybody else. Countless millions, you may say, were sort of insulted on a regular basis by Hollywood. And they're always acting like they're so much better than us. And now last night, big highlight, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Lady Gaga won an Academy Award, and they got together and sang a song. Gee, nice. All right, but Green Book won the Best Picture, and good for them. Really nice movie. Very well done. Got nothing to complain about that. I didn't watch any of this, by the way, because I've just downloaded enough celebrity opinions in my life. And sort of the top off the week was the whole thing Bill Maher had, speaking of celebrity opinions, making his whole thing about, well, you know what? We have Wolfgang Puck. They have Chef Boyardee. Oh, they also have fences and walls. They're immoral, but not when you're protecting celebrities at the Academy Awards, I guess. Yeah, that hashtag hypocrisy works pretty good. But I mentioned Bill Maher and his comments about that. Now, a good can of Chef Boyardee, and I ain't lying. I've eaten some Chef Boyardee. Trust me, when you got 7 kids, you have Chef Boyardee. Oh, what's that now? Used to be like 69 cents. Now it's about, $1.89 or something for a big can of Chef Boyardee? Well, or a small, overrated Wolfgang Puck pizza or a little bruschetta. You put each plate, run you about $30. Given a choice, I'm going Chef Boyardee. But that's just me. All right, let's move things right along to the interview section. All right, as promised, we're joined right now by Charles Arbuckle, like me, a fellow UCLA Bruin, also played in the NFL with the Indianapolis Colts, among others. Had a good career in the NFL, moved right into the TV business. Don't we, all we Bruins do that? Did a heck of a job there, but now is the tight end coach for the Arizona Hotshots in the Alliance of American Football. Charles, welcome.
Hey, Randy, how you doing, man? Good to talk to you. And it's always easy when you're in California and they're always sticking a microphone in your face. Whether you're good or bad, you start thinking you're pretty good at it, right?
Well, yeah, that, and if you can actually respond correctly, they figure that out, so they come to you.
That is true. I think some people don't really understand sarcasm. So if you're good at that and you have quick wit, and you can bring up some of those philosophy classes we had to study, you can do a pretty good job here.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Hey, how are things going at our alma mater, UCLA? Chip Kelly and whatnot. How do you look at that?
You know, it's interesting. I follow recruiting because of the business that I'm in college football. It's a dirty, ugly, nasty thing, but it's part and parcel for what you have to do if you're going to be competitive and compete against Alabama and Clemson and all those other teams. And what's interesting is some of the recruits they're getting are kind of the same guys that he got at Oregon. I thought he would be more competitive with some of those top 4 and 5-star guys, but I'm going to give it some time. I mean, he's shown in the past he's been able to win with those guys, and we're going to have to see because, in LA as well as I do or anywhere else, sometimes when you're recruiting those highly, highly talented kids, maybe you're not getting the 4 and 5-star guys that everybody talks about. But if they're a 3-star guy that can develop, or if you get a 4 and 5-star kid that you like, it just seems like that was the one thing they were missing out on, just from even an offers perspective. So I don't know if that's going to change. This is interesting how this game has changed now. The more offers you give means your 25 or 30 look better. So I'm curious to see how that goes. But I will say this, at the end of the year, they were playing a lot better football on both sides of the ball. And I think DTR is going to be a really good young quarterback for him. But you know how it is, Randy. Injury here or there, and it can change the landscape of the game.
Oh, absolutely. And LA, as we know, is a different sports market. It's a different sport. It's a different market in general, but especially sports, because you always have to remember in sports, LA's with you, win or tie.
Yeah.
But they don't do losers.
Well, here's the thing. I talk about this all the time. I hear a lot of people, and you in your era too. We were pretty good my 4 years there. On the back end, we weren't. We lost Troy, but for 2 years, we were the talk of the town along with SC. It was a lot of Troy Aikman with Rodney Peete. And that town, we had a lot of folks behind us at the time too. That's why I think so. And then after that, they got on a run where they beat SC about 9 years in a row. And I think all we hear now is how good SC is, or how good Washington is now, how good some of these other schools. UCLA has the propensity. I just don't know all the time are we committed to football the way you have to be nowadays in order to compete. And that's what we're going to find out. They put the money behind Chip. They gave him the resources. Now let's go and do that at that next level. If you're not going to play with the big boys, you better get out of it. And I think the Pac-12 is struggling with that a little bit now, having lived on the East Coast a lot longer.
Yeah.
But really following football all over the country.
Hey, how do you look at the state of college football in general? Is it as healthy? Would you tell people it's as healthy as it appears from the outside?
It's healthy for about 10 to 15 teams every year. I mean, if you want to, let's just call it what we can. Every year we can look at 10, maybe 12, and then some years you can say 15 have maybe a shot. But when you only have 4 teams that are playing for that vaunted cup, you're eliminating a lot of folks. And I think that's the part when, we made this Alabama-Clemson kind of deal because those are the teams that have really committed to playing in that sandbox consistently. Now, there are other teams. Every year there's some, we can say Ohio State is always in the mix. We can say, other teams now are popping in there. But I really feel like it's a 10-team kind of situation every year. And it has made it where there's the haves and the have-nots. And I don't know if that's going to change. I don't know if that's going to change because we've already talked about going to 60, 65 teams breaking away and being a whole separate conference. So it's going to be interesting over the next few years to see how that
we might be looking at the have mores and the have less.
You're absolutely right, and I think if you go to some of these schools like I have, and I'm sure you visited,
yes,
I am blown away by the resources of some of these schools and what they're able to put in just from a nutrition standpoint alone. We never had that. I remember training table was in the coop when I was in school. It probably was there when you were. We didn't have the stuff that they have now.
It's called dorm food now. You just got regular dorm food if you're on scholarship. That's crazy. It really is. Hey, Charles, but congratulations on your new gig. How are you enjoying being a tight ends coach for the Arizona Hotshots?
Man, I'm enjoying it. The best thing about this is seeing these young guys compete and maybe have a chance to play at the next level. People have asked me quite often, off of your team now, how many guys do you think can make it? I really feel like at any given time, with the way the rosters are moving, 5 to 10, maybe 15 of these guys could make it. It's just about being at the right place at the right time, having coaches that believe in you and are going to give you an opportunity. But the best thing I've seen so far, Randy, is that they're getting a chance to be themselves. They're not a look guy. They're not, they're not a camp body. They are actually getting to play who they are and who they were in college. And you can see the confidence level in some of these young guys coming up really well. And that's been the best thing for me. I've done a showcase in the Carolinas for the last 2 years, going on 3 years. And that kind of got that bug for me for coaching again. And Rick, I've known Rick for years, and he's always said, I know you're going to coach. And finally he called me, and I said, okay, let's do it.
So you guys are now 2-1, right?
Yes. Tough loss up in it's tough loss in Salt Lake City. We didn't play well. They played well on defense, made some adjustments to us from the first game, and it was tied 9-9 at halftime. We threw a pick. They took that back, not for a score, but just we really got behind the 8 ball in the second half. And that's how this game is. You cannot hurt yourself, and we did this past weekend.
Hey, in the intro part of this podcast, I ran a little graphic on the event we're involved in. Tell the folks a little bit about this UCLA football alumni Italy trip.
Well, I've gone to Italy before, and I want to go back. And so I got a call from an organization that said, hey, we are able to put together trips. And then when you do this, the proceeds go to, the charity of or the foundation that you want to sponsor. So I wanted to do it for Brigant's Brigade, OJ Brigant's, who I've known for years. We grew up together. But the big part about it is being able to go spend time with other fellow football guys and alums from the school and just play golf, wine taste. I've been to Italy once, and I knew I wanted to go back. And this trip seemed like a perfect opportunity to spend some time with you, Mike Sherrard, Donnie Edwards. We'd have some great names.
How do we by the way, how do we let a defensive guy slide in there?
Well, they probably said, well, we got to get 3 offense, 1 defense. But whoever it is, we got it. And the thing about it, Randy, I like how they pick guys from different eras to bring us all together. And I've told folks, you got to sign up for it because we're going to have a great time. I'm not a great golfer, but I play. Yeah. But I would love to be over there playing golf in Italy and then having those wine tastings with other folks and just getting to know people. And I think that's the one thing,
especially fellow Bruins. That would be the funnest part about this. And we got a picture of the brochure, the promo for the golf trip up right here, May 1st through the 8th, 2019. And it's Donnie Edwards, Mike Sherrard, myself, Charles Arbuckle, great charities. You can't beat it. I'll be honest, I'm obviously the old guy on that picture because mine's the only one in black and white. They didn't have any color photo action shots back then. But that should be good. And I would really encourage everyone to check that out. It's egtour.com, right? Yep, executiveglobaltours.com is where you can find out more information on this trip. It's really worth it. But hey, Charles, I want to thank you for joining me. Good luck with to you and Rick Neuheisel and all the hot shots out there in Arizona. Have fun, and looking forward to seeing you around during college football.
Hey, man, come on out and check us out. And, if you call me, we'll have tickets waiting on you, and you'll have a good time. And we have our crowd gets into it, too. So come on out and join us, man. We'll have a good time. And then I look forward to seeing you on that golf trip with other Bruins. And even if you're a non-Bruin, you want to come get in the family, we'll take you, too.
Trojans, I don't know. Might be a little more.
Okay.
All right, Charles. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye. Well, thanks again to Charles Arbuckle. I love the interview. Looking forward to that golf trip, and good luck to the Arizona Hot Shots. Time now for a little Unsafe Spaces Sports. All right, another trio for you in the world of sports, and we're going to lead things off again with golf. World Golf Championship event happened down in Mexico City, about 7,800 feet elevation, so they were knocking the ball literally at times about 400 yards on some of their drives. Guys like Dustin Johnson and Rory McIlroy, the rest of them. And I mentioned those two because they played so well. Tiger played okay. He made a lot of us feel pretty good. Had one hole where he four-putted, made us sort of say, hey, look, I could do that. But we had a few shots here, some nice shots. So one by Tiger, one by Rory. It's close. You know when they stare at it that long, they like it. And literally, it's going right at it. He did this a lot. I believe he finished at 8 under par. And, Rory McIlroy finished at 15 under par. But the problem they had was, Dustin Johnson was the problem. Because Dustin Johnson finished 21 under par. Clearly just had a dominant performance. He has won, I guess, 20 golf tournaments among the group of guys that were born after 1980. He's leading that entire group. Had an amazing performance. It was fun to watch. And he gets another one of these. He's already got 4. Now he has 5. He's done some pretty unusual stuff, especially the way he can hit the ball and also hit wedges so close. The other event happened here in Atlanta. It was a Folds of Honor QT Quick Trip 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It had a little bit of everything. It's NASCAR, so there was rubbing, there was racing, there were flyovers. A lot of great patriotic stuff. If you're not familiar with Folds of Honor, check out Folds of Honor. Gary Sinise has done some great work with that.
Let's go racing, boys!
Only in NASCAR do you hear boogity, boogity, boogie. Let's go racing.
It looks like the 18 car, Mike.
Yeah, that's why it has an 18 on it.
Tire flat.
And you got to give hats off to Denny Hamlin. He's got to make that call, what he's feeling, and he decided to come in and change tires. The 18 of Kyle Busch tried to stay out a little longer.
Of Kevin Harvick's car.
Here comes Truex. Yeah, the 4 and the 19 are right here. The 19 really gives the 4 a good shot.
Oh, that's rubbing there now.
There he went to the bottom.
They're bumping each other.
Before went to the top.
Fun
this
stuff.
time, Truex really didn't know which lane to pit down in 1 and 2.
And that was the problem. He didn't know if he's going to go high or go low, and it took his line away.
There have been 4 last lap passes in Atlanta. Turn 4. For the final time, Brad Keselowski is going to win the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500.
There you go.
The American flag accompany him on his victory lap.
And you know what, Mike? Bill France Jr. would be mighty happy with the outcome of that race. He had a Ford first, a Toyota second, and a Chevrolet third. He'd say it was a pretty good day.
And almost a side-by-side finish.
And Ford now this year is in the Mustangs, as you can see. And Brad Keselowski wins that one for Penske Racing. So Penske Racing, which is involved in, seems like every single kind of racing there is, has another dominant day at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Congratulations. And also, this is the time of the year I hate hearing this term. Oh, the smell of cut grass. That means it's time for spring training. And that means it's time for spring training games. That means it's time for baseball games. That means we're all going to have to sit around. We're all waiting to see what Bryce Harper's going to do. That's sort of holding the entire world of sports hostage, isn't it? Gee, can't wait. But yeah, that's what's going on in the world of sports, especially with baseball. Here's some of your spring training scores. And if you like scores, you're going to be nuts about baseball because they play 162 games. And with those 30-ish teams, that's a lot of baseball. And it's just getting going. First game, I believe, was Saturday. All right? Hey, that'll do it for Unsafe Spaces Sports. Time now to move things into the Wambulance world.
Better grab your blankie and just squeeze it real tight. These people need to get a real life.
Thanks as always to Chad Prather for that bouncy little ditty. Get a real life. Hey, if you're like me, I was always and will always continue to be a huge George Carlin fan. There was something about his humor just slayed me. And a lot of us sort of discovered him when he first came out with his 7 words you can't say on TV, or 7 words you can't say on radio, or you just can't say them in public. I won't go through that list, but Tim Hawkins, a comedian, has got a whole different kind of list, which is actually kind of funny, but it's a Christian list of cuss words.
I think it's time we had some Christian cuss words. Trust me, some Christian alternative cuss words that we could use when we needed them. And everything would be okay. Because we knew it had the holy stamp of approval. So a while back, I put out a Facebook post asking people for ideas of Christian cuss words. I got over 10,000 responses from you freaks. And I whittled it down to about 100 or so Christian alternative cuss words that you could use. So Christians, just take these and cuss up a storm. Listen up, here we go. Shucks, rats, gadzooks, shizzle, toot, crapola. Which I guess is Spanish for crap, I don't know. Holy moly, holy stinking moly, holy guacamole, holy mackerel, holy cow, holy smokes, holy buckets, buckethead, turd. Fiddlesticks, fiddle faddle, flippin'. Horse hockey, horse pucky. Horse feathers, horse patootie. Phooey, bull twinkie, shut the front door. Criminy, criminantly, cripes. Good gravy, good grief. Great googly moogly. Great Caesar's ghost. H-E double hockey sticks. Bleep. Son of a biscuit eater, son of a Baptist preacher, son of a bacon bit, son of a nutcracker, son of a motherless goat. Wow. That's not even possible. That is not biologically possible. Where's your mother? For heaven's sake. For the love of Pete. For Pete's sake. For crying out loud, jump in Jehoshaphat. Crud. Crud muffin. What is that? Gee Willikers, mother of pearl. Shucky darn, nerds. Farfig noggin. Cotton pickin', heavens to Betsy. My Lanta. What the hay, snot, bull snot, booger snot, fart knocker. Jeepers. Jeez Louise. Mother Francis, Judas Priest. Sheesh. Booty. Shut your pie hole. Kiss my grits. Malarkey, doo-doo, caca, Bolshevik. That was close. Gosh. What the what? What the devil? Wingnut. Ticked off. Jackwagon. Heck, shoot, dang, darn. Darn it, dad, burn it, dag, nabbit, consarn it, confound it, doggone it, dad, blame it, dad, gum it, dad, blast it! And suck eggs. That's all I have so far, Christians. Take those. Cuss up a storm. Cuss like the wind.
There you go. Well, thank you to Tim Hawkins for that list. So now you know. All right, let's move right along. We're going to go to the feel-good story of the week.
I'm on top of the world.
This is a story about a police officer who's waiting for a kidney. He needs a kidney transplant. He needs a donation. His name is Stanley Barsh. His partner, when they were working together, was Megan Ambrose. And this is a story of Stanley and Megan and how friends and partners, even when they're not working together, can play a big part in each other's life.
Really? This is the moment retired Montgomery County police officer Stanley Barsh found out that he would be getting a new kidney.
I was taken aback, very surprised. I didn't know what to expect.
And the story gets even better.
So I heard you're in need of a kidney. And, obviously I could see the pun that she put urine, which was pretty funny. But anyway, so I started reading it and it's like, yeah. And then, want mine. Turns out we're a perfect match, not only on the job, but in blood and organs too.
Turns out the 100% perfect match for Stanley's new kidney happens to be his former NCPD partner, Megan Ambrose.
He was my partner on the job for 3.5 years, and he became family, and that's what you do for family. You help them.
Stanley was diagnosed with polycystic kidney disease when he was 25 years old, and he says it's gotten worse throughout the years. But thanks to his partner in crime, he's getting another chance at life.
Yeah, I was at 13% kidney function. My kidney dropped from 25% to 13% over the last couple months.
When I graduated the academy, Stan was already on the road. So I got assigned to his sector. And he had been a police officer before, and he kind of took me under his wing, and we saw the good and the bad and the ugly together, and that forms an unexplainable bond.
Now that the good news is out, the next thing is the surgery, which is expected to take place on May 14th.
If you know of somebody that needs an organ or even donate blood, get tested, try it out.
People who are living donors are the unsung heroes. I mean, really, they are given the most amazing gift to anyone. Megan's given the most amazing gift to me. It is what you call priceless.
What a great story. Things like that are what these feel-good stories are all about. That's it for this week. I want to remind you how you found us, because we're available on Twitter, on Facebook, on SoundCloud, on Instagram, on iTunes. We are all over the place. Find us on unsafespacesusa.com. Find us on randycross.com. Also, if you have any suggestions or thoughts about the podcast, it's producer@unsafespacesusa.com. Time now for us to wish you a little wintry happy trails.